This is a very early look at Nightmare Operator, an upcoming action horror game being developed by 4 people in Japan. It was first shared on Twitter last month and has been getting a bit of attention over there, so I wanted to show it to you all here on YouTube. Our main character's name is Misha, and she's what's known as an operator. Not exactly sure what that entails, but it's probably something to do with fighting off these possessed spirits in the streets of Tokyo. It looks like she has just one weapon, but it does have multiple different modules you can switch through in order to produce different effects. There's stun, standard, freeze, and I'm not sure about this pink one. It seems like there will be 5 different regular modes, plus this secret 6th mode. Really hope we see some gameplay of this one soon. Misha can also heal, which she does right here during this teal animation. Right now, in these few gameplay clips that have been released so far, combat seems a bit crazy. There are a lot of different effects going on, and since I'm not the one playing, it can be a little difficult to tell what's going on. But it still looks pretty fun, and the sound design is just the icing on the cake. I'm always down for some survival horror, especially when it has a sci-fi twist to it. Let's talk enemies. These 2 teleporting swordsmen are Inugami, or spirit dogs, and these scissor-wielding enemies are based off the Kuchisake Onna, or slit-mouthed woman in Japanese folklore. Both have different fighting styles. These ones seem to run and hide, popping out at you from behind a corner, while the Inugami immediately start attacking you head-on, never giving you a chance to catch your breath. I really love the style of this game so far. It has that retro low poly look, but everything is also pretty detailed at the same time, especially the backgrounds with different textures and light sources. Nightmare Operator doesn't currently have a website or Steam page or anything, but I did ask the devs at Distortion about that, and they said they're aiming to have a few more social media accounts up by the end of January. And their target length for the game is about 8 missions and 10 hours of gameplay. They've just finished grayboxing their vertical slice mission, which I assume is what we're seeing here, and it's about 50 minutes of gameplay. I'd love to play this as a demo at some point. I have no idea if this is in the cards, but you know me, I love testing out games. So that's just about everything there is to know about Nightmare Operator as of now, but before I head out, I do want to mention some other upcoming games you might also enjoy if you think this one looks cool. First is Keimuri, which is also pretty mysterious, but we do at least have this gorgeous trailer to look at, as well as a basic premise. This one also takes place in modern-day Japan, and you play as a yokai hunter. It's definitely not a horror game, and there seems to be a pretty big emphasis on movement and parkour, but both games do feature Japanese folklore pretty prominently. Another game that's much more similar in terms of gameplay is one of my favorite games to talk about here, Samurai Unicorn. This one takes place in a dystopian version of Sydney, Australia, and has the same kind of high-tech weapons and retro-inspired gameplay. And you can actually get your hands on a demo version of Samurai Unicorn by heading on over to the developer's Patreon page, if you have a few bucks to spare. And last is Tokyo Stories, which has the least in common with Nightmare Operator in terms of gameplay, but the most in common when it comes to visuals, although it's much brighter and more colorful. A girl has disappeared and Tokyo has been altered to be like a maze. You'll explore the abandoned city through these gorgeous fixed camera angles and uncover a mystery suspended in time. If you'd like to learn more about any of these games, I do have videos dedicated to each one that you can watch while we wait for more info on Nightmare Operator.